Hannah Arendt, a very unique thinker. And why? Hannah Arendt is a very unique because twentieth-century scholar, contemporary, most importantly till now, entire Western political thought is divided between liberal or Marxist thought. If you look the modern political thought, that is either liberal or Marxist. Locke, Mill, they belong to liberal. And that is point if we are discussing about the entire evolution of Western political thought. Probably I have repeated that first is a classical thought of Plato, Aristotle, then modern Machiavellian Hobbes, therefore liberal, and then Marxist. Marx and Gramsci, they're Marxist. In the same liberal Marxist ideology, we are supposed to read out in political theory. There is a Marxism in political theory, liberalism in political theory, is again repetition. Here we are reading out liberals, Marxist in face of thinkers. And Hannah Arendt is very unique because we cannot divide Hannah Arendt either in Marxist variety or liberal. And that is uniqueness of the Hannah Arendt. So let's see. What is the viewpoint of Hannah Arendt? Let's see the background in a context of Hannah Arendt when she was writing. She was German like Marx. But let's see, even a person that is uniqueness of social sciences, even a people who are born in the same condition, their opinions and ideas are different. And this has been the very great debate, nature versus nurture. Environment is more responsible for your personality or biology? So that is very debatable. So many people are saying the both. Therefore, Hannah Arendt was German. And he witnessed the rule of Hitler in 1930s. And you know that Hitler means he in fact faced the consequences of totalitarianism of Hitler. Because even Hitler was a fascist. Hitler was an ultra-nationalist. Because the fascist theory we had to read out in the theory, section of theory. But time and again, Hitler believed in the ideology of ultra-nationalism. It's not a nationalism, ultra-nationalism. The nationalism simply means if we are having the unity on the basis of religion, caste, culture, then we can make a nation as a collective identity of individual. If nation is a collective identity of individual, may be based on the religion, race, language. So there is a collective identity rather than individual identity. But Hitler believed in ultra-nationalism because nationalism may be a collective identity. But what is ultra-nationalism? My nationalism is the most superior. My race is more superior. My religion is more superior. Therefore, Hitler was the propagandist of the racial superiority. And therefore, Hitler divided the Germany on the basis of Jews versus Aryan race. And this is very much emotional. And this was a massacre done by Hitler on the name of nationalism. And on the basis of ultra-nationalism, what Hitler was claiming that even Aryan race is the most superior and therefore entitled to rule over the entire world. Every nation should be subjugated to Aryan race, Germany, and therefore he was expansionist. He was ultra-nationalist. And the way he supported the government, that was a totalitarian. Here we will explain the meaning of totalitarianism. Here we will discuss about the nationalism in the idea of Hannah Arendt. And obviously we are going to compare with other ideologies. Therefore, she was facing the problem of totalitarianism. So before telling you what totalitarianism means, so this was very huge impact over the ideas of Hannah Arendt. Because of that, totalitarian regime, totalitarian means it is a most suppressive regime, anti-democratic, anti-humanist, racialist. Even that was against democracy, socialism, communism, and this was against the entire values of the humanity. Therefore, this was the worst massacre ever happened in the world when Jews were targeted merely on the basis of race. Therefore, we are rational. And you know that we should not have any prejudice on the basis of merely race, caste, religion, sex. If we are having prejudices, then we are not rational at all, and the fascist ideology is not at all rational. Even they have created a kind of xenophobia in the world. And believe me, when Hitler was coming in Italy, when Hitler was coming in Germany, at that time, Germans were the most educated people in the world. It was the most educated society, one of industrial society, developed too. In the meantime, Hitler came over the power. That is also surprising. Once Germany was so rich society, even so many people were educated, despite the fact Hitler occupied the power. Therefore, emotions. He created the emotion. He created xenophobia. Even he created a kind of xenophobia of nationalism, which became very much repressive. That was a sad story for Hannah Arendt, because he was bound to flee from Germany, because the people like Hannah Arendt, they were rationalist, they were scholar, philosopher. They were not, ready to submit her ideas and thought on the name of nationalism. He was very much opposing the ideas of Hitler. And therefore, whosoever was opposing the idea of Hitler, there was a two option. Either they should be killed in the hand of Hitler, or they should go away from Germany. So Hannah Arendt, knowing the ultimate idea of political science that we read out in Hobbes, self-preservation is more important. Therefore, in order to having self-preservation, she was fleeing towards US. But let's see, he faced a very much persecution from Germany. Even look, Hannah Arendt faced a loss of liberty when she was compelled to leave her nation. Even she was a witness the violence. Therefore, if you look the entire idea of Hannah Arendt did not know the idea of liberty while reading out Mill or somewhere else. Because there is a two way how we can realize the meaning of liberty. First, reading out Mill, and second, meeting the people who are behind Tihar jail. Meeting the people like Palestinians who are very much migrated from their homes. Then we can realize the fact that what is the really worth meaning of liberty. If you are repressed by some regime, some government. So this was a story of Hannah Arendt. So Hannah Arendt was a philosopher. He never wrote anything systematically. Her language is very tough. Because her philosophy is also unique in the world. That we will discuss. But second, once he was landed in US, once he faced a totalitarian regime, and you know that what is a totalitarianism? Where state is having control over every aspect of our life. State will regulate what kind of education we should get through. State will decide that whether what kind of film should be made. State will decide that what kind of religion you should practice. Obviously, state having control over media, state, police. So this was a totalitarian state. Even not a single aspect of individual was away from the control of a state. That was a totalitarian, undemocratic, state based on violence, state based on the philosophy of ultra-nationalism. Therefore, that was a totalitarian ideology, which we'll discuss. But once he was coming in US, at that time after Second World War, US was having the capitalist economy. US was having capitalist economy, and US was very much a democratic nation. US had a capitalist economy along with a democratic form of government. That is very interesting. Even how she felt in US, she said that there was a capitalist economy, democratic form of government. But what was the problem? It was the problem of poverty. Democracy is no longer the government, led by people. Democracy is now hijacked by the party. Democracy is not now controlled by the bureaucracy. Therefore, what happens? And liberty is very much compromised even in US too. Therefore, she was not satisfied by the Republican model of a democracy in US because the meaning of Republican was very greater. But democracy was more behaving like a majoritarianism. There's rule of party, there was rule of a bureaucracy, and there was a height of capitalism. Even she was realizing that even Americans were not realizing idea of liberty. Let's see the interesting fact. There is no scope for liberty in totalitarian regime. Why there is no scope for liberty in totalitarian regime? Just like in North Korea. Even you're not free to choose your dress, you're not free to choose your education, profession, you're not free to visit anywhere. So this is censor of each and every part of life. But it is very interesting. He was saying that he was very dissatisfied while witnessing the capitalist form of society of US. Because what was her argument? Let's see. Her argument is very simple. In capitalist society too, there is a democratic form of government. Still we are losing liberty. See how we are losing liberty. It's very interesting fact he came with. Because in capitalist society, what individuals are looking for? Only for their economic needs. What is very strange that is happening in capitalist society? In capitalist society, economy became more important than politics. Everyone is running behind economy. Economic package, increasing up their salaries, are getting more and more economic reward. So don't you think that what is happening in capitalist society? Politics is undermined. Political activity is subjugated. Economic activity became primary. And therefore, a kind of mass society emerged in industrial society. And therefore, media are playing a primary role. Therefore, democracy is only limited up to holding elections. And that is not a true meaning of democracy, she pointed out. Democracy doesn't mean only merely holding election once in a 5 year. That was not opinion of Hannah Arendt. So she was very much dissatisfied with the democratic system of US. Same time, once he was writing, obviously there was a Marxism in USSR. Because on the one hand, there was a capitalist form of economy in US. But there was a Marxism in Soviet Union. Because after Second World War, there was a condition of Cold War. After Second World War, fascism declined. Hitler lost the war. See, Mussolini was thrown away from the power from Italy. Very interesting. After Second World War, fascism was declined, but totalitarian government was remain at their place, and that was in Soviet Union. Stalin, then Soviet Union. Even very interestingly, Marxism and Fascism, they are very different in terms of ideologies. Marxist and Fascist, they are very much different. What F-A? F-A-S-C-I-S-T, fascist. So fascist and Marxist, they are very different in their ideology, but they are very same in the form of government. That's very interesting. Their form of government was very same. They believe in the form of government like totalitarianism. Their ideology was different because they are ultra-nationalist, and Marxists never supported nationalism as such. Marxists were opposing nationalism. They were rationalists. Marxists were rationalists. For Marxist, economy is more important. And once you are having economy, fascists are supporting of nationalism. Nationalism is ideas. And Marxist always says that nationalism is a bourgeoisie's idea. Therefore, there was ideological contradiction. Fascists and Marxists are like two banks of a river. See, they are very much apart with each other. But very interesting. Government was a totalitarian, both in Soviet Union. as well as in fascism. Nature of state was same. Nature of government was same. Totalitarianism. Therefore, in Soviet Union too, state control each every dimension of individual life. No liberty was available in fascism, no liberty in Soviet Union. State control every dimension of individual in Soviet Union. Therefore, in the fascism, everywhere fascist, right from fascist to Marxist. Even then, Hannah Arendt realizes that she is losing liberty everywhere in the world. In that context, he was witnessing Marxism. Then she had a experience of fascism. He was also living in the US that was a capitalist economy. In that context, he came with her own ideas and she was criticizing everything. Her ideas are very unique. Her ideas are very exceptional, even not bounded by idea of liberalism versus Marxism. In that sense, he is some sort of a postmodernist scholar. Because postmodernist says that the truth can't be divided in the binary way, either right or wrong, black and white, liberalism or Marxism. Therefore, Hannah Arendt's contribution is very unique. She is coming with a very unique idea in terms of liberty, in terms of nationalism, in terms of civil society. Even she's in terms of a democratic system, she is very relevant as of now. But before beginning Hannah Arendt, let's see the first heading. Why she is criticizing totalitarianism or something else? Let's see. We want to start very basics of Hannah Arendt. You have written these points. So let's start. This is the context in which Hannah Arendt was writing. He was criticizing every ideology. But you know that I can start the very basics of Hannah Arendt. Because what was the philosophy? Then you can understand why she was not Marxist, why she was not fascist. Because what is the basic philosophy of Hannah Arendt? You know that right from beginning, if you look at any scholar, they first deal with human nature. Because discussing human nature, discussing state, that is the crux of political philosophy. So let's see. Hannah Arendt was very much influenced by Karl Jasper. If you want to see the influence of Hannah Arendt, Aristotle, Karl Jasper, Martin Heidegger, and Karl Jasper was existentialist. Later, Hannah Arendt was marrying with Karl Jasper. Then Martin Heidegger, he was also existentialist. Because Hannah Arendt's philosophy was very much influenced by existentialism. You know that existentialism is a philosophy of individual liberty, individualism. What is the idea of existentialism? First, individual comes at the forefront. Individual is the key. First, liberty of individual is central point. And individual is having consciousness. Then you can ask the question that what is the unique in that? Liberals are also saying the same. You can say that if existentialists are saying that individual is the key, liberty come in the forefront, what is unique? Because everybody is saying the same. This appears very much like liberals, but no. Hannah Arendt is not like liberals. Existentialism is the ideology which appeared through some sort of against Marxism. And why against Marxism? Let's see. You know that how existentialists are explaining about human nature and human being. This is very exceptional. How we can understand the fact of existentialism. So first you look how Plato defined about human being. Plato said human being is like a idea. What is a human being of Plato? Soul. Let's see earlier thinker how they are defining human being. People Plato, they are saying that human being is like a soul. Human being like idea. Therefore, if human being is soul, human being idea, therefore there is some universal truth lies in every human being. There is some universal truth that is located in every human being. So it means Plato tried to explain the nature of human being objectively. Again, I'm repeating that term. Plato explained the nature of human being objectively. You will say that how we can explain ideas objectively? Yes. If you remember what Plato is of the view that human being is having the essence lies in soul, and there is a three character of a soul. First is reason, second is a courage, and third one is a appetite. These are three character of a soul lies in everyone. That is the objective definition of a human being or a subjective. How it's possible that human being is having only three characters first? And then Plato says that everybody is having one predominant character. Somebody is having dominant character of a reason. Somebody is having the courage, and somebody is having the soul. This was the objective definition of human being. This was an objective definition of human being. Is it possible? Which character inspires you? Every time reason inspires you? Therefore, this was the problem for Plato. You know that existentialists are saying that if you ask to existentialist how I can define human being, they are saying that two experiences of life. How we can learn who are human being? We don't have any objective definition. Two experiences of your life. And you know that experience of everybody is unique. आपको पता है जब टीचर बच्चों को कहता है ऐसा करो ऐसा करो, तो पेरेंट्स कहते हैं डोंट डू डोंट डू, बच्चे कहते हैं करके देखते हैं ना, पापा इतना मना क्यों करते हैं? बड़ी बड़ी मोटिवेशन की बुक हम लाते हैं और पढ़ लेते हैं, उसके बाद इधर से निकला, इधर से आया उधर से गया. What is a life? Life is learned through experiences. Just I want to tell you one example. Why experiences are very important. Experiences of everyone is unique or experiences are common. Therefore, every human being is unique or they can have some definite characters. Unique. If we want to define human being in a sort of definite characters, then we are not telling about human being, we are telling about an object. आपको लगता नहीं कई बार हम कहते हैं समझ लिया गुरु तुमको, अरे तुम समझ क्या लोगे उसको? अपने आप को समझ नहीं पाते. And you know that biggest philosophy, experiences. Experience is the best master. Just I want to tell you one story. One very famous diamond businessman है गुजरात. वो इसलिए फेमस है कि कई बार अपने वर्कर्स को दीपावली कार दे देता है. नाउ ही इज वेरी एनर्जेटिक. इसका फिलॉसफी से कोई मतलब नहीं, इसका पूरा इकोनॉमिक्स से मामला आएगा, देन ही बिकेम एक्टिव. That is the problem what Hannah Arendt pointed out. In capitalist society, people are more attracted towards economy. That is the problem. अब देखो बात मैं यही पर कहना चाहता हूं कि उसने अपने बच्चे को यूएस भेजा पढ़ने के लिए, और वंस ही केम फ्रॉम यूएस, एमबीए करके आया. मैंने कहा सुनो तुमने तो पढ़ाई कर ली ना, बिकॉज द फॉर्मेट ऑफ एमबीए इज सेम फॉर एवरीवन. दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लम विद टीचिंग. आपको पता है, ओ माय गॉड व्हाट अ ब्लंडर वी आर मेकिंग इन दिस वर्ल्ड. हम बच्चों को मैथ पढ़ाते हैं और टीचर क्या कहती है, जिसका मैथ की टीचर हमेशा मैथ पढ़ लो. अरे भाई बच्चा मैथ नहीं पढ़ना चाहता, यूनिक है वो. विराट कोहली तो मैथ नहीं पढ़ पाया, सचिन तेंदुलकर नहीं पढ़ पाया, और हल्दीराम से धनियाराम में कौन मैथमेटिक्स का इंजीनियर था, मुझे कोई बताओ ना. Oh my God. What a preconceived notion we are having in mind. Education is more spoiling the people. कमाल की बात है. एक टीचर मेरे बेटी को आती थी पढ़ाने, तो बड़ी अजीब से एक दिन बात क्या कि तुम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. मैंने कहा मैम थैंक्स अ लॉट, because he is not knowing about Hannah Arendt. आप ये कैसे किसी बच्चे को कह सकते हो कुछ नहीं कर सकता? मैं तो उल्टा बोलता हूँ, जिस बच्चे का पढ़ाई मन नहीं लग रहा है उसका फ्यूचर और ब्राइट है. Oh my God. Sometime I became very sad. Really, sometime I became sad because my youngsters are committing suicide. You know that really very painful for me. बताओ कैसे बच्चे होते हैं भाई? He was a student of political science. शायद नहीं था तभी. In very class of polity, I used to tell my dear friend, ये बताओ द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने कौन सी पढ़ाई की है? मोदी जी ने कौन सी पढ़ाई की है? सेट क्वालिफाई करो. ओ माय बच्चों, देखो दिस वी शुड टारगेट वी शुड हैव अ टारगेट, वी शुड वर्क हार्ड, वी आर वेरी मच कमिटिंग टू डू दैट, बट इन केस समथिंग वेंट रॉन्ग, life is very long. And time and again what I told the story of Kalam Sahab, unable to qualify NDA, he was saddened. Later he became the commander of 3 armies, president. Never became disheartened in life. Be energetic, be excited. कमाल की बात है. That is said by Hannah Arendt. It's not my opinion. Human being is unique. अगर कोई टीचर आप कहते तुम कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे, थैंक्स लॉर्ड सर. स्टीव जॉब्स कितने पढ़े हैं? बड़े सारे इंजीनियर हैं ना कंपनी में. और हमारे जितने मारवाड़ी जी देख लो आप, अंबानी क्या एजुकेशन है भाई? उनके पापा का, धीरू भाई का सब बनाया हुआ है ना. ये तो इन्होंने एक्सपेंड किया उसको. तो मेरे बच्चों यही बात हन्ना ने कहा, ईच एंड एवरीवन एक्सेप्शनल. And what is the problem in our entire education system? Plato was guilty of that. Plato, reason. We are defining an individual like an objective. क्यों? हर आदमी अपने अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस को इम्पोज करता है. इस पूरी लाइफ में क्या है, जिसके पास सब चल जाए उसको लगता है कि people should behave like me. Hannah Arendt says that how you will come to know about life through soul or through experiences of life. And let's see the experience which you are getting here. अच्छा वो उसकी वाली कहानी तो मैंने बताई नहीं, डायमंड बिजनेसमैन की. तो जब MBA पढ़ के आया तो उसका तो सोचो, उसका पापा जो है बिना किसी MBA के इतना बड़ा डायमंड बैरन बन गया. तो उसने कहा सुनो, अब तुम साउथ इंडिया में कहीं पे जाओ जहां पे लोग मुझे न जानते हो और न तुम मेरी आइडेंटिटी बताओगे. यू आर हैविंग मेली 20,000, ये तुम निकाल नहीं सकते. जब तुम्हें लग जाएगा कि मर जाऊंगा मैं तो ये पैसा टच करना. अब तुम इस जाके खुद नौकरी ढूंढो, खुद कमा के दिखाओ 3 महीने. वो गया साउथ इंडिया में. देन his entire story came and published in Times of India. Then he came to know that what experience I have learned through that never got from any MBA school. कमाल की बात करते हो. किताबें बहुत सी पढ़ी होंगी तुमने, कमाल की बात है. एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ लाइफ इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टीचर ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. एंड देयरफॉर लेट्स सी एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ एवरीवन इज डिफरेंट. देयरफॉर हन्ना आरेंट, एंटायर आइडिया ऑफ हन्ना आरेंट इज नोन एज एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इनर साइडर. He never wrote something systematically. And she said that everybody is exceptional, everybody is unique. And now you know that this kind of idea is coming with a special child. Earlier what we said, no, handicapped, physically challenged. We have changed the notion for explaining the people. Because don't create any standard. तभी आप देखोगे. अच्छा दूसरी बात क्या है? Once Plato is saying that human being is like a soul. See, on the other hand, every person who believes in science, like Hobbes, they are also explaining human being objectively. Human being is like an atom. Second problem, scientists and philosophers are committing the same problem. They are having the generalized perception about human being. and they want to explain human being as an object. Therefore, what existentialists believe that we have to make a difference between human being and object. You know that we have to make a see what is the problem with science? Human being are like an atom. Oh my God, human being an atom. If human being are like atom, every human being is having desire. Every human being is having reason. Everybody is looking for the self-preservation. That is the opinion of Hobbes. And again, this is same problem. You know that what is the essence of existentialism? Paul Jasper, Martin Heidegger, what they are saying that how you can truly define about human being. Let's see what existentialists are of the view that how we can define human being. See, neither matter nor idea. Because what existentialism means, first you must know that there is a difference between human being and object. Human being is an object or subject. And you know that who exists in this world? Who exists in this world? Human being or an object? Human being. And why human being only exists? Not object. And you know that what is the feature of object? They are having the definite quality. They are having the objective qualities. They are having the perfect qualities. You know that there is an idea of a perfectionism exists in the object. आपको लगता नहीं ताजमहल में भी परफेक्ट मॉन्यूमेंट बिल्डिंग कैमरा अच्छा कौन से कैमरे को आप परफेक्ट मानोगे कैनन के या सोनी के परफेक्ट BMW कौन सी कार को परफेक्ट मानोगे अच्छा नहीं आ जाती चलो अच्छा फिर भी जो किस कंपनी कार को परफेक्ट मान लोगे चलो रेंज रोवर को मान लिया इट मींस यू आर हैविंग द परफेक्ट आइडिया ऑफ हाउस perfect idea of car, perfect idea of object. It means their qualities are very much definite. But you know that what is to mean being human? Lack of perfectionism. What is the essence of human being? You look, lack of perfectionism. Because why? Human being means no objective quality. Human being means no definite character. Human being is neither soul nor body. Materialists are saying that human being is like a body. And idealists are saying that human being is like a soul. Human being is neither body nor soul. Human being is unique synthesis of both. Therefore, who exists? Human being, because human being is having consciousness of their existence, and human being is always realizing some sort of imperfectness. There is some lack in human being. आपको लगता नहीं? There is something always lacking in human being. कभी कोई कुछ कमी है, आंसर लिखते तो लगता है वो कम है. क्वालिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन कई बार कहते हैं सर बच्चे कहते हैं परफेक्ट आंसर बताओ उनका जिस दिन पता चल जाए मैं बता दूंगा एंड दैट इज द पॉइंट so many actors like Amir Khan he want to become perfect but he never claimed that I became perfect want to be and this is journey of human being my dear friend because how we are learning that we are human being through my experiences there is no objective definition of human being और बड़ी सिंपल सी बात है दैट इज रीजन इफ यू आर रीडिंग आउट सम मोटिवेशन स्टोरी ऑफ अदर दैट इज एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ दैट पर्सन योर एक्सपीरियंस इज एंटायरली डिफरेंट देयरफॉर एवरीवन इज यूनिक एवरीवन इज एक्सेप्शनल एंड वी कैन नॉट इक्वेट वन पर्सन विथ अदर देयरफॉर व्हाट एक्जिस्टेंशियलिज्म मीन्स how we can realize, we are having some lacking. What actually you lacks? आपको ऐसा क्या लगता है, कुछ छूटा जा रहा है? क्या क्या लैकिंग लगती है? You feel yourself being a perfect or something lacking? Perfectly imperfect हो? क्या कमी है? आपको पता चला? If you ask to everyone, everybody is saying that, oh my God, I wanted to this. This is where I'm lacking. And same thing with everyone, even actor, cricketer. If you ask to cricketer, और अच्छा खेल सकता था, नहीं हुआ. If you ask to a student, सर और अच्छा मेंस में राइट कर सकता था, unable to do that. If a politician, I want to implement the same policy, but failing to do that. This means human. You can't become perfect. So human life is journey towards perfectness. We are imperfect. We are imperfect. Therefore, everyone is imperfect. We don't have any objective definition of human being. And how we are realizing to be human? Only through our experiences. And that experiences we enjoy in form of liberty. Why liberty is important? For enjoying to be human. Why liberty is important here? Remember, liberty is not an absence of restraint. Real liberty doesn't mean a liberal idea. Liberty is not absence of restraint. Liberty doesn't mean idealist idea to see self-realization. These are the very idealist abstract terms: self-realization, self-mastery. This is how idealists are defining liberty. What Marxists are saying that once freedom from necessity, that we will become free. Hannah Arendt is having the very different idea of freedom. You know that what is the freedom? Even choosing our exceptional, something exceptional, something unique. What is the freedom? कल कहीं हिमालय चले जाओ, चले जाना, और फिर वहां हिमालय से लगा कि नहीं यार यहाँ काम नहीं बना. Once you become engineer, next day you are migrating towards हिमालय. इंजीनियरिंग के तो लगा यार यहाँ मन नहीं लग रहा है. That is a freedom. Freedom means have an experiment over every day in life, doing something new. Try to be perfect, because we can't become perfect. At a moment we want to become perfect, we will no longer be human being. Because what is nature of perfectness? Object. Object can become perfect. And who exists in this world is human being, because object is not having the consciousness to be present in this world. It is only human being. And that is reason. What is you know that what is liberty? कई बार आपको लगता नहीं, पढ़ाई प्रिपरेशन कर रहे थे, मन नहीं लगा, चलो छोड़ के चलते हैं कहीं. And who enjoy a real liberty? IITian Baba. You know who is IITian Baba? These are exceptional people. I have seen so many stories. कि पता चला कि गए थे इंजीनियर बनने, वहां से चले गए कहीं बाबा बन गए. बाबा बनते बनते लगा यार कि है तो फील्ड नहीं है, कहीं और कुछ कर लेते हैं, बस कुछ और बन गए. लाइफ इज ए डेस्टिनी और लाइफ इज ए जर्नी माय डियर फ्रेंड्स. जर्नी. डोंट फिक्स एनी डेस्टिनी. हमने गोल फिक्स कर रखा है कि ये बन जाएंगे, पूरा हो जाएंगे, पूरा हो जाओगे इस चीज में. इफ समबडी बिकम सिविल सर्वेंट, तो उसको भी वही लैकिंग लगती है कि यार कुछ खालीपन लग रहा है. खालीपन ही तो लगेगा, बिकॉज दिस इज द नेचर ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. जिस दिन आपको लग जाए कि यू बिकम परफेक्ट, देन नेक्स्ट मोमेंट यू बिकम कंप्यूटर. कई बार बच्चे कहते हैं सर डर लग रहा है. यस, डर तो लगेगा ही, लेकिन इतने कितने पढ़ के जाओ, एग्जाम में पीटी में हवाइयां उड़ जाती, कुछ छूट रहा है, कुछ छूट रहा है. ऐसे ही ये ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी है, कितना भी पढ़ लो एंड बिकम परफेक्ट. कुछ भी कर लो, एट लास्ट व्हाट यू विल फील, यार ये करना बाकी रह गया था, ये भी कर ही लिया होता अच्छा होता. एंड दैट इज द पॉइंट ऑफ Hannah Arendt. So what Hannah Arendt is having the view, you know what it means? Existentialism. Existentialism is a celebration of uniqueness of human being. Existentialism simply means who exists? Human being. Existentialism means that is celebration of the uniqueness of him, liberty, and that is point. What is important? This was the freedom, freedom, and freedom, and the ideologies which are opposing the existentialism. Which ideologies are against existentialism? Plato, Marx, Fascist. Why? Again, let's see, compare. Then we can have an understanding of Hannah Arendt fully. Because if Hannah Arendt is very much influenced by the existentialist, so who is opposing the existentialism? Who is opposing the uniqueness of human being? Who is opposing the existentialism of Hannah Arendt? Let's see. Plato. Why Plato is not existentialist? Because for Plato, he described human being like an object. Hannah Arendt says that human being is important, consciousness is important, and how we can get the understanding of human being through experiences. What is the way? What existentialists believe in the uniqueness of human being, not uniqueness of one person, not uniqueness of a philosopher king, uniqueness of everyone. Everyone is exceptional. Don't compare with other. What is the problem? हम जो कंपेयर करते हैं मतलब सर टॉपर का आंसर दिखा दो, अरे तुम ही टॉपर हो मेरे बच्चे, हमें यकीन नहीं होता. और तो पॉलिटी की तो हर क्लास में बोलता हूँ, मैं सारे क्लासेस बोलता हूँ. इन डेज टू कम माय स्टूडेंट विल बिकम द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. पीपल डोंट बिलीव. पॉपुलर बका रहे हो सर, प्रेसिडेंट कैसे बन जाएंगे? उनको ओ माय गॉड, व्हाई यू आर अंडरमाइनिंग योरसेल्फ? यू आर फ्यूचर president, you are future DGP and chief secretary, you may be a future businessman. Is it possible or impossible? Nothing is impossible. Because why? Everybody is unique. Liberty of human being come first. And how we are realizing liberty? Every time doing something new. Every moment, every day, we are experimenting for something new, and that only come through experiences of life. So you know who is really free? अब ये नहीं कि सिविल सर्वेंट बन गए, सिविल सर्वेंट ही बन गए. one person became IAS officer, later quit the job, and he gave a bizarre reason for quitting the job. I feel very uncomfortable while sitting in car. I love to राइड ओवर बाइक. ये देखो यूनिकनेस. अब बाइक चलाते चलाते उसको ये लगा यार इट्स बोरिंग, तो चलो थोड़ा घोड़े चलाते हैं, राइडिंग ओवर हॉर्स. फिर उसको ऐसा लगा कि यार राइडिंग ओवर हाथ ढूचक ढूचक कर रहा है, देन जंपिंग ओवर सर्फिंग. दिस इज लिबर्टी. डोंट लिव एट वन प्लेस. डोंट डू वन थिंग इन लाइफ. डोंट डू समथिंग रिपीटेटिव. Every time you should do something new. That is the real meaning of liberty. That is the real meaning of liberty. But then you can ask the question that, oh, this is liberal meaning of liberty. Answer is no, not liberal meaning of liberty, because liberals are only looking for the economic need. Liberals are looking for the maximization of self-interest. Arendt never believe in the maximization of self-interest, because for Hannah Arendt, by and large, individual are good. So therefore, it's not a liberal meaning. Liberty has nothing to do with law. Liberty has nothing to do with economic needs. Liberty is essence to be human. What is the essence of human liberty? Not happiness, not virtue, but the essence to be human? Liberty. And who are the people who are opposing liberty? They are Plato, and according to Hannah Arendt, they are Marxist, and then fascist. They are the people who are opposing liberty. You know why they are enemies of liberty? Although Hannah Arendt never used the term enemy, here we are using term called pauper. Why they are really enemy of liberty? You know that? Because Marxist class, what happened in Marxism? Dictatorship of the proletariat. Dictatorship of proletariat. That is the reason he was opposing Marxism. Because Marxists are saying that human being can be divided up in two classes. And once object there will be some material condition will be the life, Everybody will become happy. Marxism is undermining the unique capability of human being, because they are saying that the orientation of human being very similar to the objective of community. Very difficult to assume. Fascist ultranationalism. In fascism, what happened? Individual liberty was undermined on the name of nationalism. In fascist Marxism, individual liberty was suppressed on the name of dictatorship of the proletariat. Therefore, she was neither liberal nor Marxist, but emphasized the very uniqueness of human being. And then she's reviving the idea of Aristotle. He was very much influenced by Karl Jasper. He was very much influenced by Aristotle. So in that context, we can note down few points. So let's write. Any question as of now? What we have explained. That is the meaning of existentialism is clear. Existentialists are opposite to Marxist. Existentialists are opposite to Plato. When existentialists are very much opposing the so-called scientific interpretation of human society, known as a behavioralism. They are very much opposing the scientific interpretation of human society. और आपको पता है what is the opinion of existentialist? What is science में क्या होता है? जितना भी ट्रीटमेंट है बीपी शुगर का, उनका यूनिफॉर्मल स्टैंडर्ड है. ट्रीटमेंट का भी यूनिफॉर्मल स्टैंडर्ड है. तभी आपको लगता नहीं डॉक्टर ने कह दिया था नो, स्टिल पर्सन सर्वाइव. डॉक्टर्स आर अनेबल टू नो द यूनिकनेस ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. कई बार ह्यूमन बीइंग क्या होता है, लाफ्टर थेरेपी हो जाती है. कई बार तो लाफ्टर थेरेपी हो जाती है. कई बार मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस भी किसी को ठीक कर सकता है. दैट इज नॉट टॉट इन द मेडिकल साइंसेस. एवरी साइंस बिलीव इन द ऑब्जेक्टिविटी, यूनिफॉर्मिटी, एंड ह्यूमन बीइंग इज अवे फ्रॉम दैट ऑब्जेक्टिविटी. Can you imagine? Everybody is a wonderful, unique, unparalleled in the world. You are a diamond. If you want to apply the scientific method for knowing that, just you put your fingerprint over it. Fingerprint of everyone is different in this universe or same? Different. So why you are undermining your basic character? That is existentialism. You are different, unique. And how I can enjoy this difference and uniqueness? Only and only through freedom and freedom. Although she said that everybody is having unique experiences, if we are considering Hannah Arendt and we are saying that, see, what is liberty? Doing something exceptional. So the question is that smoking. Question is that then if we are inventing some new drugs, is it liberty? Here he is very much emphasizing over the quality of human being, because here she is very much influenced by Aristotle. Therefore, if I am saying that everybody is free to move anywhere in the world, everybody is free to go anywhere in the world, so first and foremost, then you will ask the question that whether we are having the resources for that liberty, number one, because Hannah Arendt never talks about the resources. First point. It means her liberty is more important for the scholar person like Hannah Arendt. But again, you can ask the question that if somebody is a free exceptional, therefore we can do everything very exceptional, then somebody can be drug addict. Somebody is only involved in surfing. So therefore we have nothing to do with affairs of community. Here her ideas are very unique, because being a philosopher, on the one hand she said that we can't have an objective definition of human being like Plato. We can't have objective definition of human being like Hobbes. He's saying that we can get freedom through our experiences. And what she said that I lost my freedom because of the fascist. And then very interestingly, she also said that I lost my freedom in US. Therefore, there was no fascism in US. If you look at the other ideas of Hannah Arendt, then you will be slightly surprised. Why? Because Hannah Arendt says that human being is having experience, they are unique. But he also said that he wrote a book, Human Condition, Origin of Totalitarianism, Human Conditions. There is a famous book of Hannah Arendt. And in Human Conditions, he divided human action in two parts, theoretical as well as the practical. Once he defined the practical action of human being, once he defined the practical action of human being, he said that or practical activity. He said that in book there is a two type of activity of human being. One is a practical, and other is a theoretical. If you look at the practical activity of human being, then we can divide like action, then it is work, and then labor. See, if we are saying that we can divide human being according to labor, work, and action, this is how Hannah Arendt want to decide the human nature, practical activity of human being. And let's see, if I'm talking about action, the action is not a literal meaning of action, because if somebody is writing, that is action. If somebody is dancing, that is action. Somebody is doing exercise, that is action. Here action is having a different meaning of Hannah Arendt, and even that is the core of also the entire idea of Hannah Arendt. And for Hannah Arendt, what is action? Action is speak for freedom of speech, communication, freedom of speech, communication, and he said that it is a political action. And very interestingly, for Hannah Arendt, political action is very similar to moral action. Therefore, once he is saying that liberty means doing everything. See, what is the breaking of my own record? That is the idea of liberty. So, which record you want to break? Which record you want to break, in fact? A record of drug addiction? Smoking? Obviously not. Therefore, once he said that action means speech, communication, it means a political action. And here you can remember Aristotle. Hence he said that action once we are doing something in public life. And here action is the real freedom. Therefore, when we are really, once we said that if individual is having freedom, when I can really enjoy my freedom, once I am doing something for well-being of community, it appears that here she is very moral. Although she said that human being is exceptional, but we cannot forget the fact that every philosopher, right from Aristotle to Hannah Arendt, they always try to make a distinction between animals and human being. Therefore, action is not done by animals. Action is not a feature of animal. Because you know that since Greek age, since Aristotle, we have divided human activities in two parts, public as well as a private. Which activity is a public? First, action is a public. And public is doing something for community. Here, doing something for community, being moral, being political is same. And the idea of communication is speech that only associated with human being. Doesn't find in the animals. Animals don't have any capacity to speak, to communicate, and that become the base of political life. You know that it is real freedom. Once we are having actively participating in the life of community, that is freedom. Therefore, then it is not a likewise freedom of the liberals. What liberals are saying that absence of restraint. It means if this is absence of restraint, therefore I am also free to not participate in the political activity. If a freedom of speech and expression also means I don't want to say something. I can criticize the government. I may not. That is not the idea of Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt says that what is the first and foremost activity of every human being? Community, political, and how you have to pursue everyone through speech. So let's assemble in a community, try to convince other, pursue other, or obtaining the freedom, for obtaining greater political purposes. And here it is work and labor. That is a domain of private. Work and labor is domain of private. And see, therefore, you look, Hannah Arendt meaning of politics is very same like Aristotle, my dear friend. Therefore, freedom means doing something in political. Doing something in political, because ordinary what we come to know about political power, no. Happiness, no. How Bentham defined political? Greatest happiness or greatest number. How Machiavelli defined political? Power is the end in itself. But here, he is reviving idea of Aristotle. And therefore, in that context, people were free in Aristotle, but Aristotle accepts slavery. Aristotle says that women are not at par with the men. But Hannah never believes in that. Obviously, how she can accept slavery, how she can accept the inferior condition of woman, but she is very much interesting. Therefore, her freedom is very much attached with the participation in the politics. In which kind of politics? For getting power? No. For winning election? No. For occupying offices? No. For a well-being of a community. Therefore, she is very much individualist. But it is very much clear that for her, human beings are moral. Therefore, once we are saying that liberty, freedom, explain that human being is having unique capacity, then you can also raise the eyebrows. You can also raise the question that how Hannah Arendt says that only 3 activities. This problem is just like Plato. You can have a criticism. But let's see what she said, that labor. Labor means if we are Kit Kat, ice cream खा लो, ये क्या है? Labor. Labor means we are having the ability to fulfill our physical need. Labor. Once we are doing labor, we are not different from animals. We are not different from animals. Animals also work for their physical need, and this is no substitute, because there is no substitute of tea. Every day you have to take a tea, lunch, dinner. And what is work? Comparatively making some permanent object like table, house. We never make house every day, nor table, nor mobile. These are comparatively permanent, because physical need as a that can't have any substitute. But once we are making some permanent object like the material goods, so building can't be demolished every night. And here obviously human being differs from animals. Animals are able to make any permanent objects. The animals have never made themselves a luxurious houses. You look like in Jim Corbett, lion is the king. But oh my God, how lion lives? Even worse than tribals. How we can accept that lion is the king? Lion is not king. Because lion is very much living the nomadic life, primitive life. How we can accept? Because they don't have any capacity. अब जरा सोच के देखो, लायन अगर किंग है तो उसके लिए कोई न कोई तो हाउस होना चाहिए था ना. ग्रैंड हाउस जिम कार्बेट बनवा लेता है सबको, जैकॉल को पकड़ के, फॉक्स को पकड़ के, बुल्स को पकड़ के, डियर को पकड़ के, सब डर के मारे उसके तो कम से कम हाउस बन ही जाता. उसका नहीं बना पाया आज तक, because they are not realizing for the same. So it's true. Labor, as far as the labor is concerned, we are having the same tendency with human being and animals. But work is a unique for human being. But what is most important to be human? Action. Which life is more important, private or public? And on the same, it is a June Politikon. It is a June, like Aristotle. Who are human being? You are a political human being or natural human being? Natural animal or political animal? Political animal. Are you getting the fact that Hannah Arendt says that her liberty is very much like a republican form of liberty. So you know that in context of India, who was involved in action? Anna Hazare. Who was getting truly, because Anna Hazare participated in anti-corruption movement. Although result was very interesting. Corruption is this remain in the same place. Anna Hazare is now having rest in Maharashtra. So that is the problem. So corruption-free society is not very easier. But that is the point. What Hannah Arendt says that we are lacking liberty and freedom in US, because what is happening in US? What is happening in US is the traits of every industrial society, every urban society. You know that there has always been less voting percentage in Mumbai, one of the richest city in India. You know why? Because why Sachin Tendulkar should vote? Why Ambani should vote? But what Hannah Arendt says that this is a tragedy of the 20th century, and they're dangerous for the politics too. Therefore, she came with new idea of liberty. Liberty is clear. What is her idea of liberty? Neither liberal nor Marxist. Neither liberal nor Marxist, because what she is saying that entire idea of expressing human being is a change now. Because what is happening in the materialistic world, political idea, moral idea, taking part in act of community that is sidelined on the name of economic prosperity. You know that why this idea of a dictatorship came. Marxists are also offering for the economic well-being. Fascists were also offering that once I will come in power, because fascists came in power in 1930s when Germany was also reeling under the severe economic crisis. If you look at the sequence of arrival of fascists in Italy, there was economic condition. And very much educated people. What educated people always look for? Employment, car, luxurious house. This is a if everybody is looking for car, luxurious house and employment, this is work or this is action? Work. And that is point, you know, that once students go in JNU and they are shouting slogans for the well-being of community, people are saying that, oh my God, they do politics. But Hannah Arendt doesn't believe in the politics of like Kanhaiya Kumar. He hijacked the entire university in order to becoming the member of parliament. This is not what Hannah Arendt said about politics, but that is happening in US, everywhere in democratic world, because people are taking part in politics in order to getting wealth, in order to getting power. But what is real meaning of politics? What is real meaning of republicanism? Involved in the public life for serving the community. That is meaning of essence of liberty. Same time, that is meaning of politics. You know that. So politics is dirty word or is worth praising? Now we have distorted meaning of politics. Politics means conspiracy. Politics means something unholy. Politics means something suspicious. Opportunism. This is not meaning of politics. Aristotle said the same way back. Now, either you can write politics or something else, or you can write on that philosophy. Now we can understand what was reason behind the rise of totalitarianism. On that basis, we can come to know that. What was basic factor behind the rise of totalitarianism?